Hi, my name is Stanislav Ochvat. I develop software for translators, editors, and DTP specialists called TransTools and TransTools Plus. Have you ever received Word documents which had to be translated selectively? For example, the customer told you to skip text marked with a certain color, as in this document where the non-translatable text is marked with a red font color. Or in this document where the text to be translated is highlighted in yellow highlight color. In this video, you will learn how to translate specific parts of a Word document based on the color of the text using your favorite CAT tool. To hide text from your CAT tool, we're going to be using a tool called Unhide Text. This tool comes in two versions: the Unhide Text tool included in TransTools Plus and a more basic version included in TransTools. For this video, I'm going to be talking about the Unhide Text tool included in TransTools Plus. To hide text from CAT tools, the Unhide Text tool applies hidden formatting. Hidden formatting is a special type of formatting just like bold or italics, and most CAT tools can skip hidden text when you import a document with such formatting. Now I will show you how to deal with a couple of documents you may receive from your customers. A very common scenario is when the non-translatable text is marked with a certain color. For example, in this document, the non-translatable text is marked in red font color. In the next document, the non-translatable text is marked with the red highlight color. To hide the text, make sure that you have TransTools Plus installed. Activate the TransTools Plus tab and click the Hide Unhide Text button. This opens the Hide Unhide Text tool on the right side of the document window. In this document, we want to hide red text. So in the What do you want to do section, activate the Hide Specific Text Only option. Since we want to hide text based on its color, we will keep the default setting in the Hiding Options drop-down list. The non-translatable text is marked with red color. Word uses a number of different types of color formatting, and in this case, the color of the text is the red font color. Font color means the color of the letters. So we need to activate the font color option and select the red color. Finally, we click the Hide Text button. On my computer, Word is currently set up not to display hidden text. So I get a notification saying that the hidden text is currently invisible. I'm going to click the Yes button in order to display hidden text. When hidden text is displayed, it has a thin dotted underline. Now, when I import the document into my CAT tool, all the hidden text is ignored. In the next example, the non-translatable text is marked using the red highlight color. Unlike the font color that we saw in the previous sample document, the highlight color appears as a background color of every text character. Again, to hide this text, I'm going to run the Hide Unhide Text tool, activate the Hide Specific Text Only option, and this time I activate the highlight color option because the non-translatable text is marked with a highlight color. For the highlight color option, if you only have a single highlight color throughout the document, you can keep the Any Color option, or you can select a specific color from the list. To perform the operation, click the Hide Text button. In the next sample document, the customer used the yellow highlight color to specify what needs to be translated. So everything else, including headers and footers, must be hidden. To hide the text, I open the Hide Unhide Text tool and this time activate the option called Hide Everything Except Specific Text. This option is used when translatable text is marked with specific colors and everything else in the document should be hidden. For the type of color, I specify the highlight color option and select yellow from the list of colors. To finish, I click the Hide Text button. When you import the document into the CAT tool, you may see extra tags which represent hidden text or colored text. So you need to preserve these tags in the translation. After exporting the translated document from your CAT tool, there is one thing left to do. Use the Unhide Text tool to unhide everything. Again, I open the Unhide Text tool and this time activate the Unhide Everything option. Finally, I click the Unhide Text button and here you go. Our document is ready to be sent to the customer. Now let me summarize the workflow for you. Step 1. Open the Word document. Step 2. Open the Unhide Text tool from the TransTools Plus tab. Step 3. Select the appropriate hiding options. If the translatable text is marked with color, use the first option called Hide Everything Except Specific Text. If the non-translatable text is marked with color, use the second option called Hide Specific Text Only. Step 4. Select the right type of color and the color itself. Use the Highlight Color option for the text background color and the Font Color option for the color of text itself. Step 5. Click the Hide Text button. Step 6. Save the document and import it into your CAT tool. Step 7. When the translated document is exported from your CAT tool, open it, run the Unhide Text tool again, and unhide the text using the Unhide Everything option. Now I would like to show you a number of ways you can use this workflow in your translation work. We have already covered the first use case, when you receive a Word document where the non-translatable text is marked in color and the rest must be translated, or the translatable text is marked in color and everything else must be skipped during translation. The second use case is documents containing track changes, when the previous revision was not translated by you. What you need to do is take the translation of the previous revision of the document, transfer the changes from the new original version into the previous translated version, highlight them in color, accept the changes, hide everything except the colored text, translate it, then unhide the text and clear the highlighting. This approach is much easier than doing alignment if there are not too many changes. The third use case is dual language documents. These are documents with two languages, the original text and the translation side by side. You can use the text hiding approach with such documents in a number of ways. Say you are given an original document and you need to provide the translation next to the original text. To do this, you can use the Dual Language Document Assistant, another tool included in TransTools Plus, to place the future translation next to the original text. The Dual Language Document Assistant will apply a highlight color to the future translation, and you can then hide the rest of the text, translate the document, unhide the original text, and then clear the highlight color. Another common scenario is when one of the languages in a dual language document is updated with track changes. To translate the changes, copy the changes to the translation side, highlight them in color, and then use the Hide Unhide Text tool to hide everything except highlighted text. Now, when you know how to use the Hide Unhide Text tool to hide text based on color, let me cover several power user topics. Sometimes when you run the Hide Unhide Text tool, you will get a notification about existing hidden text in the document. This can mean two things. The first possible reason is that the original document contains hidden text. This is rare, but sometimes your client uses hidden text for some purpose, especially if they use automation to process documents. The second possible reason is that the hidden formatting was added previously by the Hide Unhide Text tool, not by the customer. So, when you see this notification, you can do one of three things. Number 1. Clear hidden formatting. You do this if the Hide Unhide Text tool was run on this document previously and the original document had no hidden text. This means that hidden formatting will be cleared and text will be hidden from scratch based on your options. Number 2. Preserve hidden formatting in the final document when the Unhide Everything command is executed. This means that all the hidden text will be marked with special bookmarks. Then, the hidden formatting will be cleared, and the text will be hidden based on your options. When you run the Hide Unhide Text tool with the Unhide Everything option, this bookmarked text, which was hidden in the original document, will be formatted as hidden text again. So the formatting of the final document will be in strict accordance with the original document. And number 3, cancel the current operation and look at the hidden text so you can make a decision what to do. This selects the first piece of hidden text, so you can check whether it was hidden by the customer or by yourself. When you hide text based on color, you will often work with the highlight color. The highlight color is a special background color applied to text by using the highlight color tool like this. As you can see, there are only a few available highlight colors in the list of colors. Sometimes you will deal with a document that has text background colors which are not highlight colors. These are called text shading colors. Sometimes it's easy to tell because the background color is not one of the supported highlight colors. Here the background color is orange, and as you can see, orange is not one of the supported highlight colors. Sometimes it's impossible to tell. In that case, the only thing you can do is select one of the characters, go over to the highlight color tool, drop it down, and see whether a highlight color is selected or not. A better solution is to try clearing the highlight color. If the color is cleared, it is a highlight color. If not, it is a shading color. To clear the text shading color, select at least one text character, find the paragraph group under the Home tab, and either use the Shading Color tool or click the Borders and Shading button, switch to the Shading tab, make sure that the text option is selected in the Apply To list, and select the No Color option under Fill. In Word, hidden formatting is not displayed by default. Also, it's not printed and not displayed in PDF files if you save a Word document as a PDF file. If you want to check whether text has hidden formatting, you can do the following. Make sure that the hidden formatting is displayed. I will tell you how to do this in a minute. When hidden formatting is displayed, look closely. Hidden text has a very thin dotted underline. Also, you can select text or put the editing cursor in the text and press Ctrl D to see the font options. You can see that the hidden checkbox is activated, which means that the text is marked as hidden text. If you want to display hidden text or make it invisible, do the following. Activate the Show Hide Invisible Symbols button. When this button is pressed in, which means it's activated, hidden text will always be visible. If you want to display hidden text when the Show Hide Invisible Symbols button is deactivated, go to File, Options, Display section, and change the Hidden Text checkbox. If you want to see hidden text in printed copies or in PDF files you save from Word documents, go to File, Options, Display section, and toggle the Print Hidden Text checkbox. The Hide Unhide Text tool offers several additional color options. First, you can hide text based on several different colors. To do this, select the first color, activate the Use Multiple Colors checkbox, which will add the selected color to the list, then keep selecting a different color and click in the Add button to add additional colors. Second, if you are unsure what color needs to be selected, just put the editing cursor in the text whose color you want to select, and then select the Selection Color option from the list. The current text color will be selected automatically. Sometimes you will get a document where the non-translatable text is marked with both highlight colors and font colors. In that case, do the following. Activate the Hide Specific Text Only option. Select the first type of color. Click the button to hide the text. Select the second type of color. Click the Options button next to the Hide Specific Text Only option and select the Do Not Clear Existing Hidden Formatting option. Click the button to hide the text again. Now, the tool will no longer ask you what to do with the existing hidden formatting. Instead, it will always preserve existing hidden formatting. This way, you will be able to hide the text formatted in both types of colors. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, by default, hidden text is ignored when you import Word documents into most CAD tools. However, if the hidden text appears in your CAD tool, this may indicate that you need to modify the import settings. In that case, check whether you can modify the import settings and re-import the document. For example, in Trados Studio or Phrase, you do this under Project Settings, and in MemoQ, you use the Import with Options command. For example, in MemoQ, you modify the hidden text settings as follows. Sometimes you may want to check a document for hidden text. For instance, you want to check whether the original document contains hidden formatting, which you will need to preserve in the translation. Also, you need to make sure that the final translated document does not have hidden formatting, which you applied with this workflow. TransTools Plus has a very convenient tool for this called the Pre-Flight Checker, to check whether a document contains hidden text, either in a document coming from the customer or in the final document you're going to send to the customer. Open the Pre-Flight Checker from the TransTools Plus tab and run the predefined profile called TransTools before CAD tool import, this one, or TransTools before delivery, this one. The difference between these profiles is in the types of checks that each one performs. The first one, TransTools before CAD tool import, is designed for checking source documents which have not yet been imported into the CAD tool, and this profile checks for hidden text among other things. The second one, TransTools before delivery, is useful for checking final documents before they are delivered to the customer, and this profile also checks for hidden text, since you can forget to unhide hidden text in translated documents. After you run the tool, you will see a list of issues. For example, after I run the before CAD tool import profile on this Word document, I can see that hidden text is detected. I can click the button to preview this text and see every instance in order to check what it is. If you applied highlight colors before using the Hide Unhide Text tool, you may need to clear these highlight colors in the final document. To do this, open the Highlighting tool under the TransTools Plus tab, go to the Clear Highlighting section, select the colors you want to clear, and click the Clear Highlighting button. That's it for the Power User Tips. In this video's description section, you will find several links to the documentation pages for the Hide Unhide Text tool, Dual Language Document Assistant, and the Highlighting tool, all of which have been mentioned in the video. Also, there is a link to another video that walks you through the entire process of creating a dual language Word document based on a single language file. Thank you for watching this video. Check out TransTools' website for other tools that will help you increase your productivity in translation and editing work. Click the like button if you find this video helpful, and subscribe to this channel for similar videos about translation productivity tools. See you!